what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Unparalleled Universe for another action figure review, and today we're taking a look at the brand new Patriot Studio 1/12 scale Chainsaw family. And these are characters from Resident Evil, but as far as I know, they aren't like main characters with fleshed out backstories or anything like that. They're basically background characters that exist for the sole purpose of popping up and scaring the shit out of you. And from what I've heard, it's extremely terrifying and highly effective. So I think that is super dope. Huge thank you to Patriot Studio for sending these out to me to take a look at. They have been killing it with the Resident Evil figures. I'm not even a big Resident Evil fan like that, but I absolutely love the figures that Patriot Studio has put out, especially the zombie cops. Leon is really nice too, but the zombie cops to me are freaking perfect. And I think these guys are going to be right up there with the zombie cops. So I'm very excited to take a look at these. So let's go ahead and jump right into it. As you can see, we have two sets here, and that's because there's like a standard set and then a special edition set. And from what I could tell, the special edition set doesn't really have anything that's all that special. They're just different versions of the characters. It's not like they come with any extra weapons or anything like that. But taking a look at the standard set here, you could see that the front of the box has some really dope looking artwork. And then on the back, we have Leon fighting against the chainsaw weirdos. And then you are able to open up the front, and then that's where you can see the figure. We have the chainsaw lady in there. And then with this one here, we have the chainsaw man. The chainsaw man. It's kind of hard to see because of the glare, but they are looking pretty damn amazing. And then we have some cool looking artwork on the inside flap here. And then for the special versions, you can see that the artwork is slightly different, but it does look really, really dope. Oh, look at that. Some more Leon action. And there we have the Chainsaw Man. We have some cool looking artwork right there. And yeah, so I think the packaging for these figures looks really cool. I love the artwork on there. I like how you could flip open the front and check out the figure. That's always cool. And the boxes are small and collector friendly and all that good stuff. They're not going to take up a whole bunch of room, so you could store the figures in there. So yeah, I think the packaging looks good. But enough about the pretty boxes. Let's go ahead and get these monsters out and take a look. So here we have the whole family right out of their boxes. And man, these things are freaking nasty. Starting off with the main Chainsaw Man. Look at this guy. He just looks gross. And he's probably the least disgusting out of all of them. But even he just looks nasty. He's got like blood all over his clothes and his arms. Man, the soft goods are really nice on this guy too. Everything, like all the stitching is very clean and well done. It's only messy where it's supposed to be messy. And then he does have these suspenders, which are very cool, but they come off really easily if you're like when you're messing around with the figure. And they hook right back on, so it's not a big deal, but you know, it could be a little annoying when you're playing with the figure and those things come off. But it's cool that they come off, because then you could take them off, you know, one of the figures and change up the look even more. So that's dope, but man. And the bag masked head on this guy is ridiculous. Check this out. Look through the eye hole cutouts here. You could see his actual eyeball, and it kind of has like a wet, nasty look to it. And then around the eyeball, it's just red. It kind of looks like as if the guy underneath the mask doesn't have any skin on his face or something. So that is really creepy. And check out both of them, man. They just look crazy. That is so dope. And they did a good job with the rest of the bag mask as well. As you can see, there's a lot of great detail in here. Some different shades of brown. The bag has some texture to it. And a little bit of blood in there. So yeah, that looks really cool. But man, the eyes are really what sets off this whole head sculpt. And then moving on to the body, you could see that the shirt has a bunch of blood on it. The buttons look nice there, but yeah, this looks really crazy. We've got some dirt down in here. And then here's the suspenders. And these are cool, but they do come off really easily. Actually, the one in the back came off. But thankfully, you could just kind of hook them back on, and it's not a big deal. But I do wish that they stayed on there a little bit more securely. And the body underneath the clothing is like a skinnier body, but they added a little bit of, you know, weight to it by adding some padding in here. So it does kind of look like he has a bit of a belly, you know. So that's cool. And then check out all the blood splatter and dirt on the hands and arms. Not a whole lot going on with the pants. They're pretty clean, all things considered. And the shoes look pretty good. There's a little bit of blood on the shoes. It's pretty subtle, but it does look good. But yeah, man, this figure, it just looks insane. Especially the head sculpt. Look at that, man. That is so creepy. I love it. And the special edition version is obviously very similar to the standard version, except he does have some differences in the details. He has a lot more blood all over the arms. The clothes are way dirtier. And he does come with a different chainsaw, which caught me by surprise, so that's nice. And then obviously the mask is very different. But man, this guy looks even nastier than the other one. Like having that blood all over him just looks like he just got done killing something, you know? Man, that is crazy. That's a gross looking figure, but both of them are just incredible. Really well done. And his bag masked head sculpt looks really dope too. It's very different than the standard version, but it's just as creepy. Once again, we could see the eye in there, but it's kind of harder to make out the actual eyeball because it seems like there's more like blood effect in there. But look at that. Just so creepy. And I like the design of his mask too, with the black around the eyes and on the mouth and stuff. Then on the back we have like a marking of some sort. But yeah, this looks really good. Super creepy. And the big difference between the special edition version of this and the standard version is the amount of blood on the clothes and on the arms. As you could see, like, you know, they both have some blood and stuff, but on the deluxe version, he's got a lot more. And yeah, it looks crazy. And then here we have the standard version of the chainsaw lady. And just like the men, she is absolutely disgusting. Check out her jacket with the blood and the dirt all over it. And then she does have like a green dress that has blood stains. And you could give her a sleeveless look if you want to take this jacket off, but it might be a little tough because the arms have a lot of sculpted details on them. At first I thought they were just like generic bodies underneath the clothing, but there's a lot of sculpting work on the arms, so it might be hard to take the jacket on and off. And you could see all that detail a lot more on the deluxe version because she doesn't have a jacket, so that's pretty cool. But yeah, as far as the standard version goes, this figure looks really nice. The chainsaw lady has some amazing detail as well, starting from the top. Check out like the blood-soaked gauze wrapped around the entire head. That looks crazy. Man. And it's interesting how there's like more blood in the face area than there is on the backside. It's kind of looks like maybe someone cut her face off or something crazy like that. And then we have the one exposed eye peering into your soul. Look at that. And then down at the mouth we have a little bit of blood. And yeah, that's crazy looking. And she does have some deformed flesh in the neck area. That looks pretty disgusting. And the clothing on her is really well done. You can see that we have some like blood stains and, you know, some stripes, some gold buttons. And then we have this jacket that kind of looks like a, you know, like a wool or cotton or cashmere or something like that. And then we have some blood and dirt all throughout. So yeah, that looks good. And then the skirt kind of has like a plaid type of pattern on there with a little bit of blood. And then the legs have some more of that deformed flesh. That looks crazy. One thing that's kind of whack is that the knee doesn't have paint, but you know, the knee's not going to be exposed at all. But yeah, look at that. That is nasty looking. Man, that's so gross. But yeah, this figure looks amazing. Some really great detail. The sculpting work is insane. She looks really, really good in the most disgusting way possible. And the special edition version of the chainsaw lady looks really good too. As you could see, she's a bit more gruesome than the standard version because her arms are exposed. So you could see all that deformed flesh sculpted on there. And then she has blood all over the hands and forearms, and it just looks really good. And I like the outfit she's wearing too, because it kind of reminds me of like a nurse's gown or something. And that could definitely add to the scariness factor, because if you're at the doctor's office, this is the last the last nurse that you'd want to pop up and help out with your vasectomy or you know, getting your temperature checked or whatever the hell people go to the doctors for, you know. This is not the nurse that you'd want helping out with that. But look at it, man. She looks crazy. And I like that there's a lot of differences between the standard version and the deluxe one, you know? Obviously, they have a lot of the same parts and stuff, but they feel like very different characters. So that's always nice. I mean, same thing could be said for the guys, but, you know, they're a little bit more similar compared to these two. But yeah, I think both of them turned out really nice. And the head sculpt on the special edition version is very similar to the head sculpt on the standard version. But there are some differences, and some of these differences I didn't even notice right away. So as you can see, the opposite eye is exposed, so it kind of mirrors the standard version. But another difference that I just noticed was that the mouth is more open than it is on the standard version. So you could actually see some teeth in here. So that's crazy. And then look at like the black lips. That looks so gross. And then she does have the blood-soaked gauze once again. And then, you know, some more deformed flesh right there in the neck. And, you know, at first I thought that her soft goods were the same as the standard version, just a different color, but that's not the case because she does have pockets. This one does not. Or she has one pocket, but it's a little different. She has two pockets right there on the front. We have some gold buttons, and it's a short sleeve, so no jacket. And that's kind of cool because then we get a look at her nasty, deformed arms, covered in blood. And, you know, if you feel the shoulders, you could see that, I mean, you could tell that all this is sculpted as well. It's kind of, I don't want to try to remove this to show it, but you can feel that the shoulders have some, like, sculpting work on there. But look at that. Super nasty. And then there's some blood and dirt sprinkled throughout the gown area or skirt area. And some more deformed flesh on the legs. Once again, we have that knee issue, but not a problem. So yeah, just like the standard version, she looks really, really disgusting, and it's awesome. So yeah, all four of these figures look absolutely incredible. They're really well sculpted, the soft goods look nice, and they're just terrifying and creepy and nasty. So they really did a good job with the design on these guys, and they're definitely the type of figures that are just going to be scary on the shelf, you know, like I'm going to avoid looking at them. I'm going to display them because at this point I have a cool like Resident Evil display going, but man, they're just gross looking figures and I love it. They did a good job. And when it comes to accessories, there's really not a whole lot going on, but each figure does come with its own chainsaw. The female figures come with red chainsaws and the males come with yellow chainsaws, and they're all pretty much the same. The only exception is that the special edition male comes with a double-bladed chainsaw. Check that out. That is pretty insane. And these things are really, really nice. They went all out with the details on the chainsaws. Here's a quick look at the red one. And yeah, look at all the stuff we have going on here. There's some amazing paint detail on there. Check out the blade with all the nasty dried up blood. That looks crazy. But on the actual chainsaw itself, look at like the stuff that they included. They have the pull cord there, and then like a spark plug cap right there. And then this is like, I guess where the coil is, right, for the pull string. So yeah, there's just a lot of things on there that, like if they did not include a spark plug cap, then nobody would have said anything. But the fact they threw it on there, that's pretty crazy. And we have some detail down here. And yeah, these things are dope. You definitely want to be careful with this handle though. I actually broke one of the handles on one of the chainsaws, so I had to re-glue it, and it's fine. I was able to fix it, but yeah, you want to be careful with these. They are a little fragile. But aside from that, these things are amazing. So yeah, for the men, all they get is those chainsaws, but the females also get these bear traps in addition to their chainsaws. And as you can see, this is really nasty. Definitely matches the look of the chainsaws with all the dried up blood and everything. And check out the look of the teeth. These things look really dope, but they're kind of frustrating to deal with because when you try to like close them up, they could kind of come apart in certain areas. But yeah, it's not a big deal. You could definitely work with it. But yeah, this looks really good. And like I said, they match the look of the figures. So it's cool that they gave the ladies some extra accessories. They also came with like extra, I don't know, ball joints for the neck or something. I'm not sure what's up with those. But as far as weapons go, they get the bear traps and the chainsaws. It would have been cool if all these figures came with extra hands, but you know, it's not a big deal at all. I really love the weapons, and I really appreciate the amount of detail they put into these chainsaws. They really did a great job with them. And for some size comparisons, here we have the Chainsaw Man and the Chainsaw Lady alongside the Zombie Cop from Patriot Studios and Leon Kennedy from Patriot Studios. And all of these figures look absolutely incredible together like this. They're doing such a great job with these characters. If I was a big fan of Resident Evil, I would be so freaking happy that somebody was putting out figures of this quality based on something that I was a fan of, you know? It doesn't really get much better than these guys right here. Like, they're awesome. They've been killing it. All these figures have been amazing, and they just look incredible together. So yeah, they're doing some great work for Resident Evil fans. And then next up, we have them alongside the Reaper, aka Hunk by GM Toys, and then on the opposite side, we have the Mezco 112 Collective Orlok. And obviously, the Reaper is made by a completely different company, but he fits in flawlessly with the Patriot Studios Resident Evil figures. So again, it's nice to have like so many cool Resident Evil figures coming out, even from different companies, and they all work really well together. So that's awesome stuff. And then next we have them alongside the Mezco 112 Collective Morbius and the Marvel Legends Zombie Captain America. And then here we have them alongside the Mezco G.I. Joe Destro and the Mezco G.I. Joe Roadblock. And then here we have them alongside the Clown by Felix Toys and the Mezco 112 Collective Michael Myers. This is the first version. I need to get the second version. I've heard a lot of good things about it. Let me know in the comments if it's worth getting. And then just to show them alongside some other video game figures, here we have them with the Jada Toys Fei Long and the Figma Link. And then last but not least, of course, here we have the Chainsaw Man and Chainsaw Woman alongside the Marvel Legends Bucky Cap and the Marvel Legends Renew Your Vows Spider-Man. And the Chainsaw Men have some really good articulation. The bodies that Patriot Studios uses on their figures tend to have good articulation, but a lot of times they have like soft goods that cover everything up and they kind of hinder the movement. But with these guys, you know, the look is so like messy anyways, and like the clothes is kind of loose fitting that you could kind of pose it around without the soft goods really hindering any of the articulation. Plus, they did some interesting things here to maximize some of the range on the joints. So it's pretty cool what we have going on, but let's go ahead and take a look. First thing, let's go ahead and take off these suspenders. Otherwise, they would just kind of fall off anyways. But yeah, as you can see, they come off really easily. But yeah, the first thing that I noticed about this figure is that he has no neck. There's just a ball joint coming up from the top of the torso into the head. And for that reason, there's a lot of good range in the head area. So check it out. He could tilt a really good amount considering that you know, his entire head is a big old bag. Look at that. There's some really good movement on it. And then obviously it could look side to side, which is nice. And then it could look up to about right there, which again is pretty good. And I love this right here. Look how much, oh, if you go too far, it does pop out, but just pop it back in, not a big deal. But yeah, it goes forward a really nice amount. That is crazy right there. Definitely helps out with those creepy poses. That is so cool. Yeah, they maintained a lot of movement in the head, even though, you know, he's got this big old bag set up. And it all looks good too, you know. It's not like they had to lift it way up to give it that range. They did it perfectly, honestly. But man, they killed it right there. And then for the torso, he does have some type of joint. They may have like left out like a lower torso too to give it some range, but yeah, he's able to crunch forward a really good amount. He does have that pad right here, so maybe that blocks some of the articulation, but I feel like I'm scared to push it too far because I don't want anything to pop apart and then it'd be hard to put it back together. But man, look at that. That is really good. And then we get some nice side-to-side movement. Yeah, really good stuff at the torso. Oh, don't want to go too far back. You'll pull his, untuck his shirt. He'll look crazy, but goes back to about right there. So yeah, really good movement at the torso. And then for the arms, it seems like there may be some type of butterfly joint in there. And then he has ball joints at the shoulder, so you could bring his arms all the way up. And you could get both arms up at the same time, a really nice amount. That is always awesome. You could bring his arms out to the side. Man. Yeah, the articulation on this guy is awesome. And just everything you do with him, he just looks crazy. And then he does have upper bicep swivel in there. Sorry, I'm just kind of messing around with them, wanting to get him into something creepy. I don't know. But yeah, he's got upper bicep swivel, double jointed elbows that get a good bend. At the wrist, we have ball joints that hinge and swivel, and you could, twist them around, do whatever you need to do with those. So that's nice. And then for the legs, he's able to kick his leg forward to about right there. I feel like it may be able to go just a little bit more. Yeah, that's pretty good. Then you could go back to about right there. I think the padding is hindering the leg just a little bit. Whoa. He could kick his leg to the side a really nice amount. Damn. That's pretty good. And then he does have upper thigh swivel in there. He has a double jointed knee that gets a good bend. And then at the ankle, we got some weird stuff going on here. I thought it was like a ball hinge, but I don't think it is. There's a ball joint in there, but I don't see a hinge. And I'm not able to, it doesn't hinge up and down at all. So, the foot itself is on a little ball joint as well. So it's, moving side to side a little bit, goes forward to there, comes up to right there, and then it could spin around. So I do wish there was a little bit more going on at the feet. But aside from that, the articulation on this guy is awesome. You could definitely get him into a bunch of creepy ass poses. I love what they did with the torso and the neck. And yeah, this figure is a whole lot of fun to play with. So they killed it with the articulation. And the articulation on the Chainsaw Lady is definitely, limited compared to the Chainsaw Men. She doesn't have quite as much going on. She has single jointed knees and elbows, and, the torso is somewhat restricted. But, I will say there's enough going on here to get her into some cool, creepy poses, but she's definitely not as fun to play with as the Chainsaw Men. So, it is what it is. But let's go ahead and take a look, starting off at the head. So the head can move side to side. She could look up only to about right there. And then she could look down to right there. And then she does get a little bit of tilt action, which is nice for those creepy poses, of course. And then at the torso, she does have a diaphragm cut, but she only crunches forward to right there. Then it goes back to about right there. And you can also twist on that diaphragm, and you could go side to side just a little bit. And then there's no waist joint at all. And then at the arms, she does have, so there's no butterfly joint in there, and there's no upper bicep. But her arms can go up a really nice amount. And it's always cool when both arms could go up, so that's nice. And then you could bring her arms out to the side to about right there. And the shoulders are sculpted. There's a lot of detail on the shoulders, so they are limited. They only go to right there, which, that's fine. And then, yeah, like I said, no upper bicep swivel. She does have a single jointed elbow that, gets a little bit more than 90. Then you could also swivel on the elbow. And then at the hand, she has a ball joint with a hinge and, a swivel. So, yeah, not a lot going on at the arms. And then for the legs, she's able to kick forward right there. And, she has a dress on, so you'd think that she'd be able to kick forward a little bit more. But the way that it's sculpted is really limiting the movement. So she does have an upper thigh swivel, but it only goes a little bit. You can't really bring her legs out to the side at all. You can bring them back a little bit, and yeah, they only go forward to right there. She does have a single joint at the knee, and there's a little bit of a swivel there at the lower part of the knee, and it seems like there should be at the upper part, but it's really tight, so I'm afraid to force it because I wouldn't really get much out of it anyways. But there's a swivel there, like I said. And then at the foot, same kind of weird. I gotta look at the men again, because she does have a swivel here at the ankle. That's interesting. So, her ankle is able to swivel up and down like that. Could rock side to side a little bit, and then I'm sorry, I was saying swivel, but I meant hinge. It was able to hinge up and down like that, and then it could swivel side to side. So yeah, that kind of caught me by surprise. I'm going to have to check out the dudes. Let's go ahead and check it out now. So yeah, I don't see a hinge in that ball joint. That's kind of weird that they would give it to her and not him. That's interesting. Yeah, so, the girl does have a hinge there, and the guy does not. That's kind of crazy. But anyways, yeah, the guys have some great articulation. And as far as the girls go, Not so much. Like I said, there's enough to have a little bit of fun with and get her into some cool, creepy poses, but she is pretty limited in the articulation department. Alrighty, so overall, at the end of the day, when the smoke clears, the dust settles, and it's all said and done, I think these things are freaking awesome. Patriot Studio continues to kill it with the Resident Evil stuff, and I think they did a good job on all 4 of these figures. I love the way that they look, especially in a group like this, you know? Like, them in a gang like this on your shelf is definitely gonna have a terrifying presence. Just imagine like a squad of these mutated freaks chasing you around with chainsaws. It's definitely nightmare inducing, and I think that Patriot Studio did a fantastic job of capturing that whole vibe with these figures. The details on them is really well done. The sculpting work is nice. Like, I really love the bag masked heads that the guys have. I love how we could see the nasty eyes through the eye holes. The females have some really crazy looking mutated flesh on the arms and some disgusting looking head sculpts with the bloody gauze wrapped around the face with the one eye showing. It looks freaking nasty and awesome. The articulation on these figures is pretty good, especially on the males. You could definitely pose them quite a bit, have a lot of fun putting them in crazy creepy poses. And with the females, you could definitely get them into some decent poses, but it's definitely limited compared to the men. And then as far as the accessories go, I love the chainsaws and the bear traps that come with the females, but it would have been nice to maybe get like one extra set of hands for each one of these figures. That would have been cool, but even without it, I'm perfectly fine because I'm definitely going to be displaying them with their chainsaws, probably just like this. I really love the way this looks right now. So yeah, the chainsaws are really well done. A whole bunch of crazy detail, blood all over the blades. You've got the pull string, the little fan cover. They even have spark plugs. That's crazy. So they did a great job with the chainsaws, and I love the soft goods on the figures too. Like, especially the blood and the grime and all that. It just looks really good, and all the soft goods are tailored really well to the bodies underneath. So yeah, just overall, they killed it in every single aspect. I do wish that the females had a little bit more articulation, but honestly, I'm perfectly fine with how they came out because there's enough there. But yeah, they killed it with these figures, and they're killing it with Resident Evil. And again, these are just some scary ass figures. They achieved that perfectly. So I'm very happy with the way these turned out. Huge thank you to Patriot Studios for sending these out to me to review. I do appreciate it. You guys are awesome. Keep up the amazing work. And with that, I think that's it. Thank you so much for watching. Please be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and all that good stuff. Also, be sure to hit the bell notification so you know every time that I go live. Thank you very much. Peace.